If I had to give an emotion to describe a movie, it would be that sigh I just gave. So, where to begin? So, usually I save movie reviews for over the weekend reports where, okay, I see a movie, I'll wait over the weekend to talk about it and give my thoughts, let them really formulate. No, this time I couldn't do that. I couldn't wait for the weekend. This is an over the weekday report. Tuesday to be in fact. So, I went to go see the new Blumhouse movie, Imaginary. The movie about the little girl who has the imaginary friend that's the bear, and the bear's evil and having her do stuff. I went to go see that movie. Now, I had seen the trailers beforehand going into it. I knew what I was getting into. I thought, okay, you know what? Concept could be okay. They might have something if they go the right direction. But in the back of my head, anytime I see PG-13 horror movie, I get a lot of red flags. That's not to say they can't be well done, because there are some that are really well done. But this is Blumhouse, which sometimes they can produce some stinkers, especially in the horror genre. So I was very hesitant at first, but I always give a movie a try. I go in, open expectations. I don't want a movie to be bad from the jump. I want to give every movie a fair shot. And I gave this movie a fair shot. And I was not a fan. I was not a fan. Very, very goofy. This was a goofy ass movie from a conceptual level, which was really disappointing, from the writing and the directing, especially. Just super weak. Like, the writing in this movie was extremely poor. Just some really bland dialogue. And just the way the plot moved. It moved at a snail's pace at times, and sometimes moved blazingly fast. And just had no cohesion in there. And the directing. I am sure these actors are good in other projects, but you can't get that sense watching this movie. They have nothing to work with, especially with the poor script. I don't know what the director was doing, but he was directing some other thing, because I didn't get a sense of anything direction-wise in this movie. It felt very disjointed. It felt like 5 writers got in a room, came up with the concept and said, all right, great, let's go shoot it, and then didn't think about it further than that. Because by the time you get to the middle, to the end of this movie, everything starts to fall apart completely on itself. It just collapses at that point. And like my usual tradition, anytime I see a movie where I'm not feeling it, the first thing I do, I don't go and check reviews. I don't go see the critical reception. I go on their IMDb page and see who wrote the movie and who directed it. And once I found out who directed the movie, everything started to make sense. Oh, it's the guy who directed Truth or Dare. Oh, he directed that Kevin James spy movie. Oh, Kick-Ass 2? Oh, okay. Oh, no, I'm forgetting his most critical acclaimed work. Never Back Down.
Everyone has their fight.
You can do what I can never do. What it comes down to.
I actually recently just rewatched Never Back Down, and
A couple of wannabes and a yellow Hummer. I could wreck you here and now. What fun would that be?
yeah, I wasn't a fan. I was not a fan of that movie at all. So I wasn't a fan of this director's work, and this movie, I wasn't a fan of either, to be honest. I wanted to like it. I wanted to give it a shot. I thought the conceptual idea of this, the imaginary friend, kind of evil, and like the interplays you can work with that concept could be interesting, but they didn't do anything with it. It was such a by-the-numbers movie. Like, every cliche in the book they use, you could probably figure out the entire plot watching it in the first 30 minutes. If you just like sit back, think for 5 seconds, and be like, that's what it is. So it's one of those movies. I was enjoying it, not for the reasons the movie thought. I was laughing and chuckling and all that, but it wasn't like the movie of being like, oh, that was funny. It was more like, did they really think that was going to scare me? Did they really think that was going to be good? So I had a good time, but it wasn't at the movies side. It was on the other back end of it. Now, I have a lot more things to say about it. I'm going to get into a big spoiler discussion, so if you plan on seeing this movie, skip to this time code. When you see the teddy bear go away from the screen, then I'm out of the spoiler zone. But for now, I'm going to be talking about everything in the movie. Scenes that didn't make sense to me at the time, scenes that don't make more sense now that I've had time to sit on the movie, the ending, and all sorts of things. Okay, you have been warned. All right, where to begin? Where to even begin in this movie? Now, first off, I will say there is one scene I did really like. It was very well paced. I liked the writing, and the acting and the performance of the scene were actually really good. It was a scene where the mother is talking to a little girl, just telling her that, hey, you know, I understand things are tough, and tells her about her own mother's experience and just her having to go through the death and all these other sorts of things. Really well done scene. Like, you see in the bed, kind of breathing, so someone's under there. Then, of course, you know, okay, the daughter's not in there. You see it coming a mile away. But it's just like, okay, the performance in that scene was actually pretty well done. You already know the ending setup for the scene from the first jump. The second she started the speech, I just knew. Like, they kept showing the breathing so super crazy in the bed. So you knew it was coming, but I was just like, okay, you know, that was a well done scene. Like, props to you, movie. I liked that. Certain things when the actual plot twist of the movie is revealed doesn't make any sense, and then starts to kind of question a lot of back end decisions. So that midpoint of the movie where we find out that, oh yeah, the mother and the daughter were the only ones who could see the teddy bear. Everyone else just saw nothing. It's just like, oh, okay, so that's why she was filming everything and they were setting it up there. But it doesn't explain how the boy from across the street was able to not only see the bear, but see a little string, see it in the hallway, and the freak out. It's like maybe the assumption's that, okay, it wanted to scare the guy off because he was making him mad, but it's just like, okay, so the bear can show itself to some but not to others. Like, it brings up a lot of questions that I'm just like, I was thinking about after the fact, like, wait, okay, so he could see it but no one else can see it, no cameras can see it. It was very bizarre. And if we're talking also things that annoyed me, the scares in this movie, they are all jump scares. There was no tension whatsoever in this film. There was none. There was not a single point where my heart rate was spiking above 80 watching. Like, honestly, the scariest thing in this movie wasn't anything that happened inside of it. Me dropping my popcorn bucket all over the front seat of my car, that was scarier than anything that happened in this movie. Listen, it wasn't a cliche. I didn't see it coming. It was better than anything they tried to pull off in this movie. But speaking of this movie and cliches, it was all the cliche ones you know. People are walking, and then someone comes out of their like eyesight and scares them. And they play that stupid jump scare sound, and they get all startled, like, oh! And it's just like, boo, stop it. It's just been done for like 40 years. I'm sick of seeing this jump scare. It doesn't work. Or the one where they just cut all the sound and it's all quiet, then the jump scare happens. It's like, no, that's not even scary either. You know it's something's gonna happen. They're just straight up telling you to your face, get ready to get scared. It's coming. It's like, give me a break. Give me a break. Break me off a piece of that Kit Kat bar, which is what I should have got at the theater. If I had a Kit Kat bar, I might have enjoyed the movie better. I could have hit myself on the head with it. I would have taken a nap at least. I would have passed the whole exposition scene that went on for 8 minutes long. And that bothered me too. It's like, okay, we're finally going to figure out the plot of the movie and like the center crux of like what the imaginary friend is, what's all this and that. And it's all told from some old lady's book. Oh, let me tell you the whole plot. She pulls the book out. Here it is. Imaginary friends, spirits, boom. It's like, okay, great. Why couldn't we just figure this out? Just show, don't tell. And especially not like a 3 to 4 minute scene. We didn't need that. Oh, it took me out of the movie. I'm just like, come on, you almost had it there. And the old lady ends up being goofy too. But I have to get to one more scene before I can get to the old lady's dumb scene. Arguably the dumbest decision in this entire movie. A scene where I shook my head, I put my hoodie on and zipped it all the way up. I was annoyed at how ridiculous this was. Like, the characters made no sense and some of their actions in this movie were asinine. So, the mother, the stepdaughter, and the old lady, they're in the basement. The girl got taken over to the imagination land, so they have to build a portal to get over there. And the little girl throughout the movie is doing the scavenger hunt where it's like, you need to find something that's dead, something you love, something that hurts, and then put it in this basket and burn it to then get into this portal. So the little girl does that, disappears. The mother then has to make her own portal to get over there, since they're both connected to the same imaginary friend because she lives in the same house as she used to as a young girl there's more to this plot. I'm not getting into all of it, but the mother has to make this portal. So she gets all the stuff. She gets the hair. She gets a photo from like her parents. Then she gets to the part where it says something that hurts. And the little girl's example of something that hurts is she was going to put her hand through like a rusty nail, and the mom came in and stopped it. She pushed the nail away, and the little girl did still get injured. She got like a little cut on her arm, and she had a band-aid. And she put the band-aid in the thing and let her teleport there. Now, why did the mother, in all her brilliance, get a pair of rusty scissors, put her hand on the table, and then slam the scissors right in between the middle of her hand? Why did she do that? She had no reason to do that. It just said something that hurt. It didn't mean impale your hand. Just get a little pinprick of blood, put it in there. Boom, there you go. You're set. You're going through. You made it through the next round. But no, she didn't do that, and it didn't work. So yeah, after all of that, this shit didn't even work. So she injured herself horrifically for no reason. And then immediately starts this shit talking to stepdaughter, being like, you're a waste of space. I don't know why you're in my family. You've been dogging me the whole movie. Get out of my life. I hate your guts. The stepdaughter's crying. The old lady's kind of laughing. Then the mother starts tearing up. Then that blue portal opens up. And then the mother says the corniest line in the movie. I had to do something that hurt me. Like, I almost wanted her to stop, turn, look at the camera, and then smile, and then have a laugh track go. It was so corny. And that's what I was talking about. The dialogue in this movie is corny. No actor could save this dialogue. You could have Robert De Niro, you could have Al Pacino, Denzel Washington, some of the greatest actors, anybody. They couldn't save this dialogue. So I can't fault the actors. Like, they were given what they did, and the director of Never Back Down definitely was not helping them there. And I don't know why, like, after the movie, I was like, man, why did they rip off Chalk Zone? It's like, okay, they had to make the little portal there, these little paint to make the little thing. It's like it's Chalk Zone. Chalk Zone, you go inside, all the imaginary characters are there. They go inside their imaginary place in the movie. It's all these different imaginary characters. And see, they didn't even dive into that, which is what I talked about earlier with the concept where they didn't go far enough with it. Is like, why not you go in there and it's like, oh, all these different people's imaginary friends that have been left behind are in this area. This locked behind these like locked doors. Like, they kind of implied it, but they didn't showcase half of that. It's just like, man, you could have gone so much further on this plot, but you didn't do any of that. They just get inside the imagination place, and then within like 10 minutes, all right, we're out of here. Just whack. Oh yeah, speaking of whack, the old lady, I forgot about that scene. Yeah, so the old lady has the dumbest change in the whole movie. She's like all old, nice the whole movie. Then she gets inside there and she turncoat. She's like, ha, joke's on you. I actually wanted to get in here. You know, Chauncey, the imaginary friend, he's been pulling me along the entire way to get you in here again. We're not leaving here. And then she proceeds to die 30 seconds later. It's like, okay. Why is she a turncoat? Where did this change come from? Was this, there was like, it came out of nowhere. It wasn't even like a shock, like, oh no, she's evil. It's like, wait, no, why is she evil? Because she wrote a book? It's like, all right, cool, whatever. You know, the next part of this is like all nitpicks. Like, I don't even think I need to get into it. It's like they have to make a portal to get out of the imagination place. So they're inside a room and there's a bunch of blue stuff there that lets them make a portal. But it's like, okay, if the imagination place can factor in all these things, why would they have all this blue shit in the building? You think they'd be smart and have an entire red room or have all white, nothing blue so that someone could teleport. But that's nitpick. I ain't gonna talk about that. Or how they had a twist ending, but then kind of changed it. Now, to some people, they're going to be like, oh, okay, you know what? I kind of prefer that they didn't go the dark route of, oh, the lady's just stuck in the imagination place forever. That'd be more my ending. I like more of those like dark European endings where they probably would have done that, but they got a happy ending. The ending's still goofy because they see the bear in a hotel and they're like, all right, we out of here. We ain't staying here. And then they go. And then the movie ends. Like, oh, okay, great. And, it's always a surefire sign that your movie's good when the credits haven't even hit yet and people are already talking. It didn't even fade to black yet. People were already getting up and talking about the movie, full volume. Usually there's like a moment of silence, maybe a lot of applause, and then some like whispers like, that was a good movie. I really liked that a lot. It was, you see this? What is this garbage? So I could go on definitely much more. There's a lot of things to talk about, but there's no point. I could get into a lot of different things. I could be here all day. Honestly, the fact that I'm here right now, it shows I've been talking about this way too long. I got other things to be doing. I shouldn't be talking about a teddy bear movie for 16 and a half minutes. But you know what? Here we are. Yeah, I think that's going to end it for the spoiler section. Closing thoughts. Goofy movie. Very weird. I wish the concept was better. I wish it was handled better. I think with a better writing team and a better director, it could have been much better. For me, I gave it 2 stars on Letterboxd, and I probably give it a 5.5. Like, just, okay. Now, if you want like a funny movie to watch with friends and like riff on, oh, this is the movie for you. This is a movie for you. It's very funny if you want to riff on it and do all that. It's enjoyable in that sense. But if you're going in looking for like a scary movie that's gonna get you kind of tense and all that, it's far from it. Like, it is far from it. So yeah, that's gonna be it for me here. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. As always, I am John GWC, and that's what I did over the past weekday on a Tuesday. Peace.